that Glenmark is the one which is doing well, and across the board we do have a bunch of stocks from the pharmaceutical space itself doing extremely well. But let's shift focus to the mutual fund world right now. Pavitra is standing by the big wall with some interesting data on asset ownerships and scheme contribution trends. Pavitra, what have you?
Thanks a lot for that. Well, we have been going through the mutual fund data, and while there has been a steady rise in total assets managed, we have picked up some interesting trends. First up, let me just put the broad numbers for you up on the screen. So the total assets managed this month came in at 40.5 crores, 40.5 trillion rupees. This is for the month of November, and this versus November of last year when we actually saw 38.5%. So there has been a 5.1% kind of move that we've seen. Now comes the interesting part. Assets held by individual investors increased more than 10.5% in this period. So we have a figure of 23.34 lakh crore for this year. This is versus the 21 lakh crore that we saw in November of 2021. Compare this to what's going on with assets held by institutions, because you're seeing quite the opposite trend play out. Institutions held 17.36 lakh crores. This is in November of last year, and this has now slipped to 17.15 lakh crores. So while individual investments are on the rise, like you can see, it's up, 10.5%, institution holding has declined and it's down 1.2% versus last year. So that is the first trend that we're looking at. Another interesting fact that we noticed is that equity scheme contribution to total assets has been going up. So last year in November, the contribution was at 48%, and this you can see slowly has moved up to 51.7%. This is the contribution from equity schemes. Now, while this has been going up, on the other hand, debt schemes have seen the opposite contribution. So contribution is down from 28.5% last year, and it's currently at just around 19%. So the current pie, if you take a look at the whole thing, it has a big chunk, around 48%, which is from equity schemes, 19% from debt schemes, and the rest are ETFs, FOFs, as well as liquid funds. To wrap up, I'm just going to go through the trends again. First, the AUM is rising across the board for the industry. Assets held by individual investors are going up, but those held by institutions have come down. And lastly, equity scheme contribution is rising, but debt scheme contribution is declining. With that, guys, it's back to you.
Okay, interesting pointers there, Pavitra. Thank you so much for highlighting them for us. So that's the trends. Those are the trends that we are seeing in the mutual fund industry. However, if we look at the equity markets, the weakness continues. Bank Nifty is down 700 points as we speak. So important trading day at the day's low, and Nifty has further slipped there, 180 points lower on the Nifty as we speak. That's all we have on Midcap Radar. Your stocks when we return.